the last ice age, when great climatic changes had taken place in the world, when the vast polar ice caps had melted, the ancient land bridges between Asia and the islands sank under rising seas, and the world was rent with cataclysmic change. Peace after the storm. The climate stabilized, the sea level risen over 30 meters, the land bridge is gone, and the Philippine archipelago had assumed its present geographic form. From now on, men sailed between the islands. But many of the fishing and food-gathering activities seem far removed from the elaborate fish traps of the modern Filipinos. The small dugout canoe and the way of spearing fish and octopi are almost certainly inherited from a remoter past. On the foreshore immediately below Gori Cave, Peter the Tagbuana can go out and collect shellfish as his ancestors may have done thousands of years ago. While behind Lapuan Point, in the mangrove swamps that join the point to the mainland of Palawan, they can dig up all year round from the dark waters between the mangrove roots a great variety of brackish water shellfish, all good for eating. The reef below the Tabon caves once formed part of the land bridge to Borneo and perhaps to the mainland of Asia. Now it's only exposed at low tide, and the children come here to catch fish and eels and collect the shellfish that abound here in the warm, shallow water. The way of cooking is the simplest imaginable. The fish are skewered and put on an open fire to grill. And meat from turtles, which breed on an island not far away, is picked straight from the shell to be barbecued too. This is the roughest method of cooking, used by Stone Age men long ago, and still in use by workers in the Tabon cave today. The archaeologists have dug deep through layers of history. First were the jar burials dating back perhaps 3,000 years. Then, in Gori Cave, were remains going back 8,000 years. Is there indication of Philippine man even earlier? The answer is yes. The deputy director of the National Museum, Dr. Alfredo Evangelista, is collecting charcoal from what must have been a Stone Age cooking hearth for carbon-14 dating. It was in layers such as this that bones of early man were found, and Dr. Evangelista explains.
We have here two human fossilized bones which were found in the cave of Tabon in 1962 by a team of archaeologists from the National Museum headed by Dr. Robert B. Fox. It is believed that these bones were found in a layer that was quite disturbed, but the closest group of stone tools which were dated by carbon-14 gives a date of between 22,000 and 24,000 for the age of these human bones. we have here the lower jaw or mandible of a male individual, found also in the same cave, which was cleaned earlier and is believed to be very closely related to the Nia man of Sarawak and the Australian Aboriginal. And in 1971, Dr. Neil McIntosh cleaned and analyzed this bone in Australia. Let me read off to you a portion of his report in which he said that when critically compared with Mongoloid and Australian specimens, the Tabon lower jaw was observed to exhibit more characters of the Aboriginal Australian than those of the Mongoloid ones. The proposition therefore arises that kinsmen of the ancestors of the Aboriginal Australians were present in Palawan 23,000 years ago.
Were the ancestors of the Tagbuana the people who were present in Palawan 23,000 years ago? If so, then they may have been more closely related to the Aborigines of Australia than to the modern Filipinos. The stratification is good, the layers of time show clearly. At all levels, stone tools have been discovered, and these can give the answer to the dating of Stone Age man in the Tabon cave.
Here above my head was the original floor of the cave as we found it. As we began to excavate down to this level, we found this type of tool. Associated charcoal at this level yielded a C14 date of about 9,000 years ago. The depth here is about 55 centimeters. We continued to dig down to about this level. Again, we found essentially the same type of tool. The depth here is about 145 centimeters. And again, we were lucky to find charcoal, which gave a radiocarbon 14 date of about 23,000 years ago. Continuing deeper and deeper, we found still a similar type of tool. Here, we found the oldest radiocarbon 14 date at about 175 centimeters of approximately 30,000 years. We continued deeper and deeper and finally found this level and the oldest assemblage of tools encountered. We estimate from the relationship of the C14 dates to the depth, a depth-age equation, that this level is about 50,000 years ago. We continue to go deeper and deeper to the bedrock of the cave, about 5 meters. But the entire deposits here, unfortunately, were sterile. What is of incredible significance is that in this enormous span of time, from about 9,000 clear down to 50,000 years ago, man's tools in Tabon Cave did not basically change. We did find one other type of tool, a large chopper made of igneous rock. But this is a very rare tool in Tabon Cave, less than 1%. We even encountered, in a few instances, these huge nodules of chert, which were obtained by ancient man in the nearby river bottoms. It was with these that man was able to make the chert flakes that he utilized and that we found hundreds of in the cave.
And so 50,000 years of early Philippine history has been revealed and brought into better focus by the patient work of the Philippine National Museum team helped by its Taguana friends. And not only early Philippine history. The horizon of knowledge about early man throughout Southeast Asia and even Austronesia has been greatly extended by the excavations in the Tabon caves.